Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
Join us because we're drinking at Moe's. I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Christ.
This is Bobby Olson. We're drinking at Moe's. You better hit like and subscribe.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts. They got hoodies. They got beanies. They got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, Drinkin' at Moe's, my 2 cents, another edition here. You know the drill. YouTube, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff helps with that pain in the ass algorithm. Treat the like button. Hit that like button like a Marine hitting a box of crayons.
Hey, your loser focus men are hungry. Here, eat a crayon.
Better?
Better.
Oh my
All
God.
right.
Not a box of crayons. Hey, they're like old people drinking Gatorade. You can't ask them the flavor, you just ask them the color. Which one do you like? I like red.
I like red. Yeah. Oh God, that got me in my head. The whole I like turtles, kid.
I like turtle day.
I like turtles. All right. So anyways, that whole like button thing. Us two being veterans ourselves, in the veteran community, we have this thing. If anybody can tease the other branches, it's the people that are in our communities, whether it be Navy, Army, Air Force, Chair Force, Marines, whatever it might be.
Coast Guard.
Well, I don't. Well, but all due respect, we all play a part in the whole protecting the country mission. Today, this episode is going to be somewhat special to the both of us being veterans. We're having this episode come out around Veterans Day, and we're talking about veterans in the pro wrestling community. Now, there are some people, pretty big names in here. One that I will not be mentioning because technically I don't think he's even allowed to say he is a veteran. He just happened to play Marine for a little bit. That's about all I'll say on him. I will not take away from his in-ring talents because, yeah, in the ring, talented. Maybe one of the best ever. But as far as military goes, he was a fucking coward. But that isn't to say there isn't any shortage of big names out there that were not cowards in the military. Now, I know, did you have a list of people here? Because, I mean, we've all seen the lists that have been put out there. I probably should have done a better job of actually putting a list together myself.
I'm actually pulling it up.
I'll pull it up now. All right, one that one that I think initially when I first heard about it kind of surprised me a little bit was Kevin Nash. I'm like, holy
Yes.
crap. I did not realize that he had been in. And I'm like, okay. Like, I already had respect for him, but now it's like, all right, that's cool. I mean, I know one active one that's still active right now, Bobby Lashley.
Is he active?
Not active as in military.
Wrestler, yeah.
Yeah, he's like
actively. After I asked that, I go, wait a minute, that's not where he's going.
Yeah, you saw where I was actually going with that. Not necessarily active as in active military, but he is actively still in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this thing he's got going with the Street Profits showing some promise. We'll see where it goes.
Yep. Now, you brought up Kevin Nash, and you're right. He was in military police in Germany. And the funny thing is that I myself spent 2 years active duty Germany. I know exactly where he was stationed.
No kidding.
So, yeah, there's that. Did you have any others? Except the fact that I've got it all pulled up right here on my phone.
You know what? We'll go with yours. Those are the ones that I pulled off the top of my head.
All right, so I'm just going to go from the top of this list that I found. Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. Hey, I don't know why I didn't think about him, but yes, very good example of one.
Marine signed up, and I'm reading up here. He was in the Marines. He signed up. I think he went to Desert Storm. I'm not sure. For those that don't know, the Road Dogg is a member of the world famous Armstrong family. So even when he was done with his enlistment, guess where he was going to go? Because that's what Daddy wanted.
Yeah. I've actually, speaking of the person I said we wouldn't be talking about, or wouldn't be mentioning him by name, I remember one time I actually joked about it on Twitter that I said, oh, and then you have somebody like Road Dogg that's actually served honorably. And then I don't know if he retweeted it, he might have, but he responded, and now he actually follows me on Twitter.
Does he really?
Yeah.
All right. That works for me. So another one that I got that I'm sure a lot of our modern wrestling fans might forget, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Ah, yes.
Now, I've got it pulled up. I'm sure you remember this. He was not a Navy SEAL.
He was what the SEALs were before they were actually named SEALs.
He was, and I'm reading this right here. If you see my eyes looking down this way, he was a member of the BUDS.
The training program.
As part of the SEAL training program, but he never became a SEAL. He was considered a frogman. Demolitions team.
Yeah, he was a member of the Demolitions team. Yeah.
That became a member of the SEALs after he left. But he's still a veteran.
And now he's
former governor
and now a big conspiracy theorist guy that's turning into a bit of a nut job.
Yeah. One that I just found right now on this that I did not realize was a veteran. Maybe you didn't realize he was a veteran. Montez Ford.
You know what? I seem to remember hearing about that somewhere. And Marine?
Yep.
Am I saying? Yep. I'm wanting to say I remember. It might have been like the last Veterans Day that I remember seeing him on a list, and I'm like, oh, before that, I didn't know. But then you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I remember seeing him on a list somewhere.
Yep. Another long name that hit my table. I got a little wiggly. Another name that some newer fans might not know. There's one guy that actually got on our live chat for one of our videos. He might recognize this name. Blassie, Freddie Blassie.
Huh.
He was in the U.S. Navy, stationed in the Pacific Theater.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about that one.
Well, we've got other things going on. You're not going to remember a heel manager from the 50s and 60s, but yeah, it says right here he was. Now, you being a Navy guy, I'm see. This is where we give each other shit because we can.
I'm like, where are you going here?
I'm not going anywhere with it. I mean, he was in the Navy. He was actually in the Pacific Theater, so more power to him. Stuff like this where you find out it's like, wow, that's pretty awesome. Here's another one I didn't realize about. Perry Saturn.
Oh, you know what? I think I remember hearing about that somewhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought originally before I saw it on one of those lists that seem to come out every year around Veterans Day.
He was according to this, and I'm reading this because I did not know that he was in the military. Enlisted at 17, served for 4 years. Became an Army Ranger.
I was one to say I was forgetting if it was like a paratrooper Army Ranger somewhere.
I remember WCW would always say that he was a Ranger. So it's like, really, a Ranger? I don't. Well, it says so. He became a Ranger. So
hey,
anyone that can go through that, kind of like Jesse Ventura going through UDT training or Bud's training,
yeah,
more power to you.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different animal right there. Either one of those.
It's one of those where it's like,
yeah. Before we get into the next one, speaking of like Bud's training, I was stationed in San Diego, and every once in a while, when we'd be pulling back into port from being out at sea or whatever, sometimes I'd see those little boats that they would do their training on going, through the bay. And I'm like, oh boy. And then you see some of the training those guys do. God damn.
And to kind of go off of what you just said, I know a lot of Marines, and I give the Marines a whole lot of shit. Okay. That being, and when they always go, well, because I've always said a Marine has been brainwashed into thinking they're the best thing since sliced bread. Not saying they aren't. There are some of them that are just absolutely, completely freaking awesome. At the same time, you might have somebody that didn't do a damn thing, making sure my Marine doesn't sneak up on me. You might have a Marine that hasn't done diddly squat, but he still puts himself on this freaking pedestal. Then you got some other people that have been in the military for X amount of years. They've got this amount of experience and all this other stuff. They've been here, there, and everywhere. Every armpit and asshole in the world. They've got the scars. They've got the medals to prove it. This is the person you should probably listen to. But this dude over here seems to think he's the shit in the walk, and you should listen to him. And he don't know diddly squat.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely with you there.
But going off of that, when I was deployed to the great kitty litter box in the world, I was running gun trucks, up armored Humvees and stuff like that. They come down and they say, we've got a new unit coming in that we want you guys to train. Well, cool. Who are we getting? We get another Army unit, as you can tell, Army veteran. I said, who are we getting? Are we getting Army? Are we getting some Marines, some Air Force? We're gonna, nope, we're getting some Navy personnel. Well, is that a Marine? Because in the Marine Corps it says Department of Navy, which pisses a Marine off.
I know.
It says Department of Navy, and then it says U.S. Marine Corps, and it's like, okay, well, who are we getting? We wound up getting a platoon of 30 to 40 people that are Navy, and we had to train them on how to run gun trucks. Why a Navy personnel are inside of a country, the middle of the country, the closest waterway is, a drinking fountain. What are you doing here? You should be in the Gulf getting ready to fire off some missiles. They had no answer. All they could say is, we were told to be here.
That is the thing. I know I served with a few people that ended up getting called over to boots on ground, and I think it was Iraq, might have been Afghanistan. I know people that have done either one of them, and yeah, it is one of those things that at first I'm like, well, why? But whatever. They're
and the funny part about it is, we sit there and train them on all this stuff. How to work the radios, how to load the radios, how to set up your main machine gun, how to do this, how to do that. We trained them for about 3 weeks, and then we let them go off on their own. But we still had to keep an eye on them because they were still our responsibility. Yeah. So, one day, we're like, all right, well, they're getting ready to get their vehicles. Let's go see how they're doing. We wind up going over to their motor pool, and it's like a CB. And if you don't know what a CB is, they're the construction department. They're Lowe's for the Navy.
Pretty much.
It's like a CB, and a mechanic decided to just come up with the most ridiculous shit and say, it looks good, we're going to use it. They took a cargo Hemet, a sick 8-wheeled vehicle that I drove primarily in my military career, and a cargo vehicle. It had like in the bed of the truck, it had like railings that are about a foot and a half tall. They took those off. They put cargo net over the top of this thing and welded 2 mounts for 50 cals in the middle of this thing. And my first thought was, when did Mad Max show up in Iraq? Because it's the Mad Max shit. That's what it was. But they weren't done. They still had to up armor this thing. And they up armored it. And I was pleasantly surprised. I never saw it in action. I kind of wanted to see it in action, but so basically what you're doing is you're taking a truck, you're putting 2 gun turrets on the back of it, kind of up armoring it, so if something blows up from the side, your people inside are going to be fine, but you're going to drive down the road doing 55 miles an hour, and you're expecting everything to go okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky. I was never one that had to go over for any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know, my ship, when we deployed, we were flying, our helicopters were flying some of the last missions. I believe it was over Iraq before they first withdrew out of there. And I just remember, saying this, and I'm like, just watch. And then boom, it happened, and I'm like, but then I remember there's plenty of great stuff. Oh, yeah. Some like, oh God, I remember going up through the Suez Canal, and we were actually able to be outside during that transit, because going into the Persian Gulf, we weren't. Like, we had to be inside.
Oh,
because apparently it's so narrow that they were worried people,
if you were outside, people be able to take pot shots at you.
People trying to pick you off. But over there, Suez Canal, we were able to be outside. Although the one thing that kind of was like, oh, okay, they literally had like looking like a flatbed truck with a automatic machine gun thing on the back, patrolling each side as we were going through
Hell
there.
yeah.
And I just remember seeing there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like you've got like up armored Humvees. They've already got the turret in them. Some other vehicles, they already have turrets attached to them, but it's the ones where it looks like it was a Drunson Arts project. It's like someone just said, oh, fuck it, let's see if we can make this work. It's the shit that they just kind of cobbled together, and you go, wow.
Yeah. Oh man.
We drove 915s, which were basically tractor trailers without a sleeper, and we had our armor. It was cobbled together. It was let's just take this. I think it was 1/4 inch steel that they cut into a pattern and just welded it onto our doors.
Yeah. I mean, the reason we were going through the Suez Canal, I don't know if I want to go too deep into it.
Don't go too deep.
Because of, certain stuff going on right now in the particular country.
Just remember, this is not a political thing.
Yes, we don't go into that because, people get way too uptight about all that.
It opens up a whole can of worms.
That it does.
But those people that are watching this for a political statement, just wait. I've got something for your ass. No, I got nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm not going into any political stuff here.
I've said this before. The closest we get to politics is when we start shitting on the political matches WWE puts on during an election year.
Yeah, that is about it.
That's about it.
I will say those that know me know this story, but I remember going on the local bus that they had, come to take us to different places when we first got into port in this country. And the first thing they said when we all got on the bus was, "We're not expecting any rocket attacks today." And I'm like, what the fuck? That's what you're going to lead off with? What? But, we ended up going without a hitch. It was a great time. I got nothing. Well, I wouldn't say nothing but pleasant memories. There was one.
That's a great way to start out a trip.
Yeah, right? But then, going back into, wrestling stuff, this is a memory that I have from at Raw. They were doing an advertisement for the tribute to the troops that the WWE does.
Oh, really?
And relatively, well, it was like relatively soon after I left. Somebody that I know that I'm wanting to say was still there. They might not have been, but I don't remember at this time. Hell, I have trouble remembering what I have for lunch some days. That's a whole nother story. But one of the first tribute to the troops after I left was actually done on the pier in San Diego, right by my ship. Like literally in the background of that episode, the whole number to my ship, the ship that they toured when doing some of the extra stuff, that was my ship. And I remember when somebody,
and that was after you left, right?
Oh yeah. And I remember when somebody showed me the pictures that some people were taking before the episode actually aired. I'm like, well, God damn it, they never did any cool shit like that when I was there.
Oh. So kind of in the same realm of that, I was in Iraq. The first two tribute to the troops were in Iraq. First one was in Baghdad. The second one was in Camp Spiker, which is a little forward operating base. It was north of where I was at, north of Baghdad. It was named after the first jet pilot, American jet pilot that got shot down in the Gulf War. And the area where the camp is basically where he was found. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, whenever we get ready, I can sit there and kind of guess. You're looking, it's tribute to the troops is usually a Christmas time, tradition.
Right around then.
So you're looking about October, November time frame when they'll show up so they can get enough footage to put this together, along with having 4 or 5 matches. And then come to find out the year that they were the year that I was there, they went to Afghanistan.
Oh, fuckers.
You want to talk about someone kind of pissy? I mean, if you watch, if you get, because I know there's a DVD that had the first 2 tribute to the troops. So you watch the first one in Baghdad. Yeah, that was pretty cool. You watch the second one at Spiker. You'll see where they came, where they got off the plane is where I was stationed. I was stationed on the air base there. And a lot of the places they went, I've been to. They went to one base camp that while they were there, they were they wound up getting a couple of mortars landed in the perimeter. And they actually have it on tape, on film, where the base commander said, "This is what we have." There was some rocket fire, some mortar fire. Anyone that's here on this post during a mortar attack, you survive. He reaches into his pocket and he goes, "You all get this challenge coin," and handed each and every person that was there, from Vince McMahon, and I'm pretty sure all the camera operators and everyone else that was there, because they basically go there with a skeleton crew. They handed everybody one of these challenge coins because they were on post during a mortar attack. Unfortunately, when I've been to that base camp, there was never a mortar attack, so I never got a challenge coin from them. The pricks.
Damn it.
I know. I went through several on my base camp. I got to a point where I knew the difference between incoming and outgoing.
Now, there's some more people that have been in, well, not just WWE, professional wrestling in general.
Professional wrestling.
Yeah, that have been in the military. And I'm wanting to say the other one we kind of discussed a little bit before we started recording. That in Sean Dean.
Yes.
He is another guy. I'm trying to remember who else. They come out with a list like every year around Veterans Day.
Yeah,
that just
they do.
promotes.
And I'm trying to remember. Or I can just Google it.
Google it. All right. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of who is there. Because there is a substantial number. But I am just having a brain fart here on who some of these
those are the wrong veterans.
Because, god dang. Yeah, but the thing that I'm liking, that I'm hoping that they kind of start doing when it comes to tribute to the troops, they continue doing them, is not just doing them at a regular arena. Actually go to different military bases. Like if you're going to do them in the States, go to different military bases in the States.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you go to, I mean, during that time, I really don't think they're going to do it, at least outdoor. I don't think they do it off it, but you tell veterans in the military here in Omaha that they're going to do a show there, though that place is going to be packed.
Oh, well, back in the day, what WWE used to do is they would actually have, I don't know if they still do it or not, all active military personnel have you ever noticed after 9/11, when the military started ramping up and everyone started getting all behind the military? You ever notice on wrestling shows, front row, you'd see a lot of guys that are in uniform.
They do have, I believe they still have that deal for active military.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they still do because
But
I
you
know
gotta get there early enough.
Yeah,
You gotta get there early enough so you can find a spot.
Yeah, I know I had heard about it when I was in San Diego, but funny enough, they didn't really seem to. Well, I can't say they didn't ever go to San Diego when I was there, but it always happened to be on one of my duty days where I had to be on the ship. And I'm like, well, God damn it.
What a bunch of pricks.
Motherfuckers.
I just found one that I'm pretty sure you didn't know about because I didn't know about it. And I'm going to use this because I haven't seen her on there for a while. Big Swole.
Wow, you know what? I don't think
I'm going to say former because I haven't seen her on there. But she was an Air Force veteran. I'm looking at it right here.
Wow, yeah, no, that's one that I hadn't thought of.
And I still haven't found the one for Sean Dean. If anyone knows what branch of the military Captain Sean Dean was in, put that in the comments.
I wanted to say Navy for some reason, but don't quote me on that. You got another one?
Vern Gagne.
Oh yeah.
Vern Gagne joined the Marine Corps. That would explain why he's so crazy. I'm kidding. No. I had to throw that. I had to throw that one in there. If you're a Marine, I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. No, we're not. It's called busting everyone's balls. I gotta find this again. Yeah, Vern Gagne joined the. I went the wrong way.
What the fuck?
Corps. Where was it? Oh, there it is, right there. He was in the Marine Corps for a year at the end of World War II.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's one of those where he signed up and it's like, we don't need you. Go away.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, I can't think of too many more.
I got one.
Oh, you got one.
Right here. A young gentleman by the name of Corporal Kirshner.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
All right. He enlisted as a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne. Spent the remainder of his teenage years. I'm going to assume he lied about his age to get in, or he just joined up right after he turned 18 and jumped out of perfectly good airplanes.
Ah.
Never went into battle because that's also during the time when he had peacetime.
Ah. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I think of one that she isn't with WWE anymore, because I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened here. But yes.
I was gonna throw that one out there, but we'd already done a video on her, so it's like
that is about the only other one I can think of. By all means, if we didn't mention somebody that you know of that has ties to the military, by all means, let us know in the comments. But I don't know if you have anything else. I mean, we could go into other military stories, but that could be a whole nother subject for a whole nother podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we could go on forever about that. I know I sure could. But that is about it. We want to, this will be out around Veterans Day. So to all active, past veterans, happy Veterans Day. Go out there and enjoy yourself. Enjoy those discounts we work so fucking hard for.
Yes, there you go. And like for me, happy Veterans Day to everyone, brothers and sisters out there. I'm not one to say go get yourself some free food, but hey, if you want to, go get some free food.
Hell, do what I do most of the time. Go one place for breakfast, one place for lunch, another place for dinner.
Oh, no, no, no. You go one place for breakfast, another place for lunch,
Another place for second
another
lunch.
place for dinner, and then you go to another place and pick up lunch for tomorrow.
Aha.
That's how you
Gotcha.
do it. You gotta play that one. You gotta,
Yeah,
especially when around here, there's only like 3 or 4 places that actually does stuff like that. So it's
no,
like
yeah.
figure out who it is and where it is, and you know, you get full and not pay a damn dime.
Oh God. And you know what? This year I'm gonna have to actually remember to actually use my thing for Texas Roadhouse because one year it was good for a whole year, but then this last year, no, it wasn't. So
So
I went to go to try to use it on Father's Day, and yeah, it wasn't good anymore. But anyways, like we said, happy Veterans Day to all our brothers and sisters in the veteran community. We hope you have a good day. This year it's on a Saturday, but a lot of places getting off Friday too. I know I am. So enjoy
I'm
your
off.
days off.
I'm off
Enjoy
Friday
your
anyway.
week.
So
No, enjoy your weekend. I got nothing else. Let's fucking go.
let's fucking go.